Hey, do you know what time it is? That's right. It's time for Coach Lindy's podcast. The podcast to get you moving. Hi, I'm Lindy Hutchinson, a certified life mastery consultant with the Brave Thinking Institute. As a life coach, I help others transform their life as I have mine. It's not easy, but it is possible, and it most certainly is worth it. Each week, I'll share insights that inform, inspire, and ignite in you your desire to create a life that you love. So let's find out what's going on this week. So here we are. I am using a friend's office and recording this week. It's good to be with you again. This is episode 34 with Coach Lindy at the podcast. It's always my pleasure to enjoy your company. So this week, this week we are talking about a book that is a classic and considered a fundamental for those who want to advance themselves, for those who are interested in personal development. It is How to Win Friends and Influence People. It was released in 1936, and the writer is Dale Carnegie, who is no relation to the family, the Carnegies. He wrote a book, 1936, and it is considered one of the most influential books ever. In 2011, it was number 19 on Time's list of the 100 most influential nonfiction books, and the Library of Congress in 2013 ranked his book as the 7th most influential book in American history. So kudos to Mr. Carnegie and his book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. So who was Dale Carnegie? Well, he was born in November 24th, 1888, on a small farm in Missouri. And he lived with his folks who owned their farm. And he was one of two sons. He attended a school that was single room. Make me think of Little House on the Prairie. And he would, at 16, discover that he had a passion for public speaking. And he joined his high school debate team. He would get up early in the morning, like 3 o'clock in the morning, and he would feed the pigs and milk his folks' cows. And he would go to school, and he got very passionate at giving speeches and became very accomplished at that. He went to college, and his first job after college was selling correspondence courses to ranchers. And he also was a salesperson for a while for Armour and Company, and he sold bacon soap and lard. So he saved up some money, and he quit the sales business in 1911, and he got training to become a professional speaker, and that's exactly what he did. For a short time, he was an actor. Apparently that was okay, but not his most favorite thing. And for a while, he lived in New York at the YMCA. Since he saw a need and he knew he was good at public speaking, he made an arrangement with the YMCA manager to get a portion of the proceeds at any of his speaking and teaching sessions that he held there at the YMCA. So he started improvising, and he started developing his own style, and he developed by 1912 his own Dale Carnegie course, and that became enormously successful. And by 1914, which meant he was at the ripe old age of 26, he was making $16,000 a week, which eclipsed way more than what a lot of people were making at that time in the early 1900s. He did serve in the World War I in the Army. Once he got out, he went back to public speaking. And in 1916, he sold out a lecture at Carnegie Hall. He went on to write several books and several articles, and he expanded his Dale Carnegie courses, and they became quite famous, and many people, many regular people, and also many famous people took and recommended his courses. So he did really well, and that was a wonderful success story. And he talks about how, I left one of my papers, he talks about how he was researching what people really needed, because he wanted, this is what he did with his courses, was to fill needs of people. And he did surveys and questionnaires. He did a lot of research. And he started with public speaking and then realized that people really wanted to learn certain things. And he began teaching people how to speak on their feet, express their ideas with more clarity, more effectiveness, more poise, both in business interviews and groups. Of course, if you know your history, in the early 1900s, everything was exploding. The Industrial Revolution was going, and people were engaging in all kinds of commerce, and it was exciting. There were some ups and downs, but a very exciting time in human history. And people were becoming where they could develop their own skills, their own business, and branch out. So he said, but gradually, as the seasons passed, I realized that as sorely as these adults needed training in effective speaking, they needed still more training in the fine art of getting along with people in everyday business and social contexts. And of course, it's been said that more business deals have been made on the golf course than anywhere else. So being able to engage in conversation that is kind of casual and kind of business, you could see where this is a delicate and valuable art. I also gradually realized that I was sorely in need of such training myself. As I look back across the years, I am appalled at my own frequent lack of finesse and understanding. How I wish a book such as this book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, that he wrote, had been placed in my hand 20 years ago. What a priceless boon it would have been. Dealing with people is probably the greatest problem you face, especially if you're in business. Yes, and that is also true if you're a housewife, an architect, or engineer. Research done a few years ago under the auspices of Carnegie Foundation for the Advancement of Teaching uncovered a most important and significant fact. A fact later confirmed by additional studies that were made at the Carnegie Institute of Technology. These investigations revealed that even in such technical lines as engineering, about 15% of one's financial success is due to one's technical knowledge, and about 85% is due to skill in human engineering, to personality, and the ability to lead people. In the heyday of his activity, John D. Rockefeller said that the ability to deal with people is as purchasable a commodity as sugar or coffee. And I will pay more for that ability, said John D., than for any other under the sun. So, dealing with people, how to win friends and influence people is a very important thing that everyone needs to know. And little wonder why this book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, is a book that, though it was released in 1936, that today in 2025, it is still a viable and valuable asset and certainly deserves place in your library. If you would like to listen to it first, you can hear the entire audiobook on YouTube, and picking up a copy of it because it is older and has been in circulation for a very long time. You can pick up a good used copy for very little money, and it's great to have as a great reference and guide. So this week, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Our top banana is the author, Dale Carnegie. Our power word for the week is teachable. We need to be teachable. Train your brain thought for the week is learn and, I wrote that wrong. I put proper. Learn and advance richly. We can advance our life, advance our business, and we can enjoy many benefits and also by having smoother relationships. You'll find in the book, he even talks about how family relationships became better once people learned how to broach certain topics with, as he said, finesse. And it was learn and prosper richly. I spelled it wrong. All right, there's a typo. So from our Hey That's Funny file, comic Stephen Wright says, a clear conscience is usually a good sign of a bad memory. So thank you, Stephen Wright. So that's it for this week. Thank you for joining me. It's always a pleasure. And remember to keep building your dreams and creating a life that you love because you deserve it. And have a great week, and I'll look forward to seeing you again. Bye. Hey, thanks for joining me this week. I look forward to being with you every week. And if you'd like to get in touch with me, please email me at coachlindy@lindyhutchinson.com. My name is spelled Lyndi, so it's Coach Lindy, Lyndi, at Lindy Hutchinson, LYNDIHUTCHINSON.com. I value what your input is, and I'm always open for suggestions and ideas. If you will like and or subscribe to this podcast, that would be wonderful. I appreciate it. And I enjoy anything that you might want to send in, or if you would like some more information about coaching, send me an email and I will get back with you, and we'll talk about how you can create your best life. Have a good week. We'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye-bye.